5 questions. The first one, which is what we'll be doing for day 1 this week, is the question, who is the audience? Now this is adapted again from Don Moen. He spoke about preparing to lead worship. Of course, you know Don Moen is a very respectable worship leader, has been leading worship through song for many years. This is what he said. You must ask yourself, who is the audience? John chapter 4 verse 34 says, "My food," Jesus said, "is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." Our activity question: what is that one thing you enjoy doing most and invest most of your time and resources in? So you need to write down that one thing, because you can find your worship right there. Just write it down. As you prepare yourself to go to church and participate in worship, you must always ask yourself, who is my audience? Who is all this hype or hullabaloo or fuss about? The answer to this question is twofold. The worshipper's audience number 1 is God. Worship is actually purely for God. Once you realize this fact as a worshipper, you then need to find out from God's word, how do I prepare myself for my audience? The Bible is constantly talking about consecrating oneself in readiness for a meeting with God. Can you think of any references in the Bible where God said to his people, consecrate yourselves? There are many. There are many. A meeting with the king requires adequate preparation. One cannot just casually walk into the king's presence. I believe I said words. Into the king's presence. There are certain things that one must learn before he or she can interact with royalty. Imagine if today, right now, you received a call informing you that your presence was required at State House. Would you just get up without second thought and go? I think not. I think not. Even if you are as carefree as carefree itself, you wouldn't just get up and go. I am certain that you would start wondering if you are dressed well enough, or you would want to write down what you would say, or maybe even wonder how you would address the president. In the same way, even though we know we can now boldly enter before the throne of God because of what Christ did on the cross, we still cannot just casually waltz into his presence without following what his word says regarding how we are to approach him. Just like you would not expect to choose for yourself what kind of entertainment you would like if you were ever invited to State House. And just like you know the choice of entertainment for the president is entirely his prerogative, it would be very absurd. Can you imagine? Well, if you came to my house and you found me watching something or listening to something, I'd find it very strange if you said to me, I don't like that music. Please change. Or I'd rather watch such and such a program. I'd most likely tell you, well, do that in your house. But that's just an example. So worship is for God. It's God's prerogative to decide what he wants. And you and I as worshippers can't go to his house and then dictate to him what he wants. He has already stated it in his word. Right? We need to approach worship from the point of view in which we ask ourselves, what does my audience like? What does my audience appreciate? What kind of attitude pleases my audience? And then, having answered those questions, give it all you are and all you have. Right? Being a worshipper is more about honoring God than singing songs and being entertained or emotionally engaged. It takes a lot more time, thought, and energy. It takes God. Our prayer thought says, ask the Lord to give you a heart and love for him that strongly dictates how you worship you. And Lord, we pray this morning that you'll give us a heart and a love for you that will dictate how we worship you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And our memory verse today is from Mark 12:31. It says, the second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. Alright? So, our first question we must ask ourselves, who is the audience? And the answer we have said, God is the audience.